Good morning. Good morning. It's the world famous, as I always said lately, the world famous Tai and Hoodie show right here on nothing but 93.5 K Day. It's always our pleasure to hang out with you this morning. For our listeners and for our YouTube people, we got a little show for you today. I'm with my main man. I'm Trevon Smith, also known as Trey, as you may know me. And my main man, Andrew Jessicoba. How you doing, Andrew?
I'm doing good, Trevon. How are you doing today?
Man, it's a good day. It's always a great show. We get a little interaction today with our YouTube channel and our K-Day listeners. We got somebody in the building for people that they might heard of or come across throughout Los Angeles. So it's definitely a pleasure.
It's a pleasure. How's the pandemic? The post, I would say, was still in the pandemic.
Yeah.
What I know you got your vaccine, right?
Yeah, I got mine. I'm 2 weeks in, so I'm good now.
Yeah, you're good now. I'm encouraging people to always go out there and get the vaccine, but we got to get out of this somehow, right?
Yeah, most definitely. We got to get back to business. And speaking of business, with no further delay, is Mr. Real Estate Agents of the Stars, Mr. Real Estate Agent. I can't wait to get more in depth with him. I want to give a big shout out to my boy Eddie for making the connection. And Mr. Savet, how you doing today?
Oh man, everything's good. It's a Monday, so working really hard, collecting checks, but definitely working for them. So it's good.
Yeah, that's something. Andrew likes that. Andrew's a money man, collecting checks.
Collecting checks, yeah.
Right here, buddy.
Hey, absolutely. In the real estate, in the finance or in the funding, or I'm in the mortgage business generally. I've been in it for about 20 years, so I understand your world quite a bit on the other side because I do the financing and you do the structures, right? Generally.
Really, it's really the other way around. I think you do the structure and we find the pretty houses for most agents. Me, I'm a little different. I look for investment properties. So it has to make sense. I try not to sell, pretty dreams, but I try to sell investments.
Okay. Now, if you don't mind just going into a little bit about who you are, what you've been through. I know for men to reach the success level that you have, you've had to experience some obstacles somehow, some way. It might be few or not, or it might be many. But just tell us a little bit about yourself, and we'll definitely get into where you are now.
I have a different kind of background because I grew up in the family of real estate.
Okay.
So it wasn't just being real estate agents, but it was real estate investors, families that own properties that, maybe bought multifamily properties, single family houses, and, changed their way of wealth into a way of living. For myself, I like the aspect of helping people. And it wasn't about wealth for myself. It was about the experience and enjoying the process and really feeding off energy for, the new first-time home buyers. So I started not so successful in the beginning, because I was just trying to get my foot in the door and, working with people that were buying condos, for the $300,000 range to moving up to the multi-millions. But, I started from the ground up. I started out of a friend's mortgage office and learning the process of the steps to apply for a loan, and was not getting paid for several months, just to understand the loan process, really educating myself as an 18-year-old fresh out of high school. So, I definitely understand the process from start to finish, which a lot of people never had that experience. But for me, it works really, really well, because I can educate my borrowers and buyers.
Okay. And I think that's real important for our listeners to know, like, what you've been through, even though you might not say it's too many obstacles. It is an obstacle because you actually, like you said, you went months without reaping the benefits of a paycheck. But this is something like myself, I'm getting involved in a mortgage career, and Andrew's already in it. This is something that we've chose to do because, as we say, it's nothing wrong with working a 9-to-5, but in order to get big rewards, you got to go through, big dreams. Correct? Is that something you would fairly express to the listeners?
When I worked at my friend's mortgage bank, and I saw this guy, his name was Tony Ravella from Fortune 1 Mortgage. I don't know if it's around but he was a young guy in his 20s, and he came around and showed me some checks for, $30,000. And, he was telling me, he says, Ty, this is the kind of money I bring in monthly. And, he wasn't that far apart from 18 to say 25, so it definitely opened my eyes up to the world of real estate and how much money is in there. My family, getting involved with them, and seeing them property manage. I never really liked that aspect of having to collect money from people or having to, do maintenance on a property. That wasn't something as a young kid, that wasn't something that was appealing. I wanted to hang out and party with my friends. But, becoming a young adult and becoming a mature adult, I soon realized the full potential of the money that was in the business. So it definitely woke me up.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you say when people see you now and they see your content online and they see the success, I saw a little, some of the things that you've posted, and you are a real estate agent for superstars and for the celebrity. So you're not doing $300,000 condos anymore, right? You're doing much. Probably instead of you doing $300,000 condos, you're getting a check for $300,000 when you do a deal. So how will you advise somebody who's that 18, 19, or even 30-year-old saying, I want to get into this? I see what you're doing, Ty. What's your advice for them?
Well, first off, I'm not the typical LA agent that's going to sell you a dream. I'm going to sell you a career. And with that career, you have to go through the proper schooling and you have to take the time to actually educate yourself. So, I guess it's not going to be the glitz and glam of, here you are going to make millions in this business without putting the work in. For me, I hold myself to a very high standard. And I think that everybody should, work with first-time home buyers. And if they haven't purchased a home as an agent themselves, they should go through the process if they can afford to. So yes, I do work with a ton of celebrities, but they're no different than a person that's buying a $300,000 home. The service for me is still the same. And I actually truly believe that, we're all equal. So the experience should be equal. There's no difference between you're spending your money at Walmart or you're spending your money at Neiman Marcus. I think that service should be equal, and people should put themselves through the proper schooling and learn the business and educate their buyers.
I mean, so let me just expand on that a little bit, if you don't mind. Sorry, Trevon.
Sure.
The people are hearing you saying, put in the work, get the proper education, and people look at real estate. Hey, I mean, there's probably one real estate agent in every corner you look in the country, right? Sure. What kind of level? I mean, can you go deeper into the kind of work you're talking about? Is it 10 hours a day? Is it 2 hours a day? What should people, if you were to take me as an apprentice now and teach me this process, what will you tell me how to grind and how to go about, getting to a level where you are?
Well, the first thing is you have to love what you do. So if you're going to get into real estate and you're getting in there only strictly for money, you're going to make bad decisions for your clients. So if you truly want to be a great real estate agent, love it. Be involved, be interested into the properties, be interested in the interest rates, be interested in how the market appreciates and depreciates, so that's what a true professional would do. They would know every aspect. So, I think I'm getting off track here, or am I?
No, you're good.
No, you are. Yeah. You're on track. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just thinking about what it takes for myself and how I train. I have 20 agents that work for me, and I try to train them to be me, which is, very ethical and to make good decisions. Because a person that's an agent, in LA, they might think of the big commissions and they might make bad decisions and sign off on, say, contingencies, that maybe they overlooked or they were too greedy for their commissions. So, you have to look at through the buyer's eyes and say, is this the right decision for myself? Is it the right decision for them? So, again, you have to be passionate and you have to love the process and you have to love what you do and respect yourself just like you respect your clients. So, we're definitely not every agency. I built an agency on everything I didn't like about other agents and other brokers to kind of change the narrative. You might not have known, but, I also created a TV show called Love and Listings, which was a very diverse TV show. It was something that has not been seen ever. So I was one of the first to actually come out with that. And it was using a lot of my celebrity contacts and basically using more African-American base, showing that different cultures buy properties everywhere. And it's not just one culture that predominantly, buys multi-million-dollar homes. It's every culture. So, I strive myself on being different, being a trendsetter, and, just showing that you can be a professional in any business. So you can't just be a basketball player, a rap star. You can be a CPA, you can be a real estate agent, or you can be a mortgage broker, and still have the same glitz and glamour. If you do your job properly, you can still reap the same rewards.
If you're just tuning in, we're talking to Mr. Savet. He's the real estate agent for the superstars. But he came a long way. At first, he was just a real estate agent for people like me. So, but I want, with the audience that we have in Los Angeles, like people say, what's the difference between Los Angeles, Miami, or or other cities? And I say, and I always say this. I remember somebody telling me, I think Shaq told me, he said, you can go to Miami and it's 5 millionaires in the club. You go to LA, it's 100 millionaires in the club, and none of them is superstars. You might not even know their faces. Mm-hmm. So for the people that's listening, if they want to, is there a website or something? I mean, because we have a very diverse audience with a high, income demographics. Is there a website or something where somebody can look you up if they're looking to move to Beverly Hills or Hollywood or wherever, where they can contact you or your agents?
So the best place is to go onto my Instagram, which is
okay.
310 agent,
okay.
or at Agents of LA on Instagram, or the website agentsofla.com.
Okay.
And for there's a lot of information and some of the houses that we have listed, and a lot of great information on there.
Okay. I do want to talk about your show, Love and Listings, but I see you got this office behind you. Can you give us a small little tour for our YouTubers and people? And I'm gonna walk us through for the listeners as well that's listening on K-Day.
Okay, sure. This is, we'll start from the front and go all the way to the back. For me, developing this office, I wanted to have a millennial feel. Okay. Obviously, with things changing and cryptocurrency and the NFT art coming out and monies that are being made in all different aspects, I wanted to have a little bit of a different feel and a little bit more of the modern time. So this is, the front of my office.
Okay. Beautiful.
This is a really cool piece, isn't it?
Yeah, I like that. The desk made out of a bike for people listening.
This is our podcast studio. It's different. It's got the cool lighting.
Oh, yeah. And just gonna fall in love with that.
There's a cool Scrabble piece I just bought, so it keeps my brain going, maybe after doing some kind of interview. I honestly just built this whole bar right here, which is really cool. This is kind of a man's bathroom.
Yeah.
As you can tell.
Okay.
This was a bike from Rick Thorne from Famous Stars and Straps. He donated his bike.
For our K-Day listeners who's walking through Mr. Savet's office right now, showing all the unique pieces he's got from stars and modern day furniture.
So as we're walking through your office, one thing I want to mention, which I'm sure you're probably aware, sure. Real estate prices are going through the roof.
They are.
Can Absolutely. You tell our listeners why? Some people are saying the prices are going so high, the market's going to crash. What's your opinion on that?
I don't know about crash, but it will stabilize. Crash, I think we've learned from the past of what a crash really looks like. What is really happening is we're pushing a lot of people that can't afford in certain areas, we're pushing them out. And, because of supply and demand, people are willing to pay all cash and overpay. What people don't realize is when you pay all cash, you set the trend. So you set the marker for a comp. So if a house was worth, say, $1 million and somebody's paying $1.1 million and they're paying all cash, now that property, becomes a comp and it's at 1.1 million. It's the standard. That's how comps are created. It's not by, what we appraised it at, because it's what the market tells you it is. It's, the market saying it's worth 1.2 million or 1.6 million. That's what it is because that person's paying all cash. There's so much money right now in LA, money that I've never seen. It's such an unusual time because it seems like everybody has money. Now with people losing their jobs, I don't know where all the money's coming from. Is it overseas? Is it people pulling it out of their 401ks? Is pulling out of their savings? I don't know, but money is readily available. Now I have seen a lot of the rates, go tremendously down. And I think you've known that too. And I think that the guidelines have been a little bit more lenient with 10% down. You can go all the way up to, you would know this, what, 2 million? Even with a VA, I've seen somebody get approved for 1.5 million with 3% down or 0 down. That's unbelievable with the best rates.
Yeah.
So, but for me, educate myself. I see what the loan products are out there. I read, bankrate.com. I check all the rates out and what's available. I definitely try to strive myself to be an educator, and that means do the education myself and prepare myself for, the coming market. With rents super skyrocketing high, it's almost, or I would say it is cheaper to buy than it is to lease, mainly because of the tax benefits. If somebody doesn't have a CPA, they should definitely sit with them and find out what the benefits for them should be, with writing off certain things that, maybe they didn't realize they could write off. I know a lot of people that are making great income right now, they're W-2s and they don't know all the benefits, maybe being a single person and getting taxed, a crazy amount. Maybe it's time to buy and get themselves in a better position. But these are things that you would probably do, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I mean, so this is something that we're seeing, but somebody who's thinking right now, I'm sitting on the fence, I'm not convinced, I hear people telling me the prices are going to fall, What would be your advice? Because everything is just going crazy across the country. It's not just only LA, in Atlanta, in New York, crazy everywhere. So what would be your advice for that first-time home buyer, saying, should I buy now or should I wait until after the summer is over?
The truth of the matter is, I don't think anybody really knows. If 10 years from now, 10 years before this time right now, none of us would have said cryptocurrency was going to have any kind of value. No one's going to say that somebody's going to buy a piece of digital art for 70 million in India. That was not possible, right?
Yeah.
So I would say this, the value is out there. The value of somebody living in a home, there's value there. More so than a digital currency, more so than a digital piece of art. So I think that's something that's very real. And I think the prices are always going to go up, just like Bitcoins went up, just like these NFTs went up. It's something of real value. So I wouldn't really play into the fact that people are saying it's going to fall when everybody needs a place to stay and people are going to pay for it. There has been a tremendous amount of people that have moved to Texas and out of the state. And there's been a tremendous amount of people that have moved in, new blood. So people are always going to pay for what something is worth, just like you would pay for some sneakers, or just like you would pay for whatever it is that you want. The house itself, what I just showed you, what is that? It's design, right? They're living in something hopefully that they like. And just like this office that I created, it's something that I like. So I'm going to pay top dollar for something that makes me feel good. It's the same thing that like a person paid for digital currency. A digital piece of art. It's the same thing. You're going to pay for something what it's worth. And it's a necessity.
It's definitely a necessity. I know we've been talking a lot of business. Now I want to get in, to a little bit of the fun with our K-Day listeners and our YouTubers. Let's talk about love and listings. What made you come up with it? How'd you come about it? Where they can catch the show at now? And just let's just talk a little bit about your show.
Sure. The concept for me was I started out of an agency, and it wasn't diverse enough for myself. And a lot of people don't realize that I'm actually 50% Asian.
Okay.
My family's from Thailand, and my mom is from here. And so, with my dad being from Thailand, and I'm basically a first descendant of our last name into America, I have a very diverse background. And, being brought up from two different cultures, I decided that I wanted to see a little bit more of that, what that looked like. So, I definitely look a certain way, but, my heritage is something different. So when I came up with the idea, it was more or less $1 million listing, but with a different skin color.
Okay.
you know, and I wanted to, I was very passionate about it because it's something that resonated with the clientele that I was geared to help out, which was, you know, multicultural. So, you know, I have Indian clients that are amazing. I have Korean clients that are amazing. I have Black clients that are amazing. But, you know, when I felt like I watched a particular maybe HGTV show or Bravo show, it didn't resonate with what was reality for me. And so I thought I would change it around and narrate something different. So my mindset was to change the narrative and give viewers something that, you know, was happening in my life. So the show Love and Listings came about, and VH1 bought it, and they spent a lot of money putting it out. And I think it's a great show. It's it can be seen on vh1.com, and it's on VH1. So you know, it's, if you haven't seen it before, it just shows you a little bit of diversity, and I think that it's you know, it's just a great show.
And I appreciate you being humble, man. But it's some of the biggest stars on there and a part of it, and it's definitely an attribute to your work ethic and what you've done. So I just want people to realize, like this man just said, he's looking up the I believe he said banks or something, looking trying to stay relevant with the information, and you already have, we'll be gentle and say some success, and you still do your homework daily, weekly. So people have to know there's a work ethic that is paying off. Your seeds, you know, are harvesting in different parts of the year because you've attributed to put it in the work. So that's what we want to get to our listeners, man. It's about personal growth and financial freedom, but you have to put in the work.
Absolutely. You know, you know, like a lot of the celebrities I work with, you know, I took them off my Instagram and my social media networks and whatnot. It wasn't because I didn't like them. It was because that I think that, you know, you don't have to be a celebrity to do what I've done. Yeah. And you don't have to work with a celebrity. So I think I gave the wrong impression. And because I'm really heartfelt when I speak about things, I felt that, you know, I'm an ordinary guy. You know, I've had some success, but I wanted everybody to have the same opportunity. You know, you know, I was thinking about this a week ago. I said, the only way to really win is to help others. Yeah. You know, I think there's so much hate out there and there's so much competition, and it's not friendly enough. So for me, you know, owning the agency, Agents of LA, I think that, you know, every one of my agents can truly say they have a connection with me because I take the time and I really sit with them and say, hey, this is how we're going to navigate through this, and, you know, give everybody the best experience. You don't have to work with this celebrity to be somebody. You are somebody. Let's figure out how you're going to make the next somebody. So, you know, whether it's that experience of buying a house or leasing a house or whatever it is. So, you know, I do have a lot of very, very amazing clients. I have a podcast called All Tied Up. It's on YouTube. And I think that it kind of gives a little bit insights on some of these celebrities from a business point of view. And it goes through, you know, their lives and what they went through and some of the business aspects of them purchasing, some of the downfalls. And it shows a little bit of them, it gives them a little bit more of the personal life, not as a celebrity, but as a human. Okay. So I think take a look at it.
If we were to look back, Mr. Tai, and if you were to look back 10 years ago, what would you have done differently?
I would have gave more, and I'm going to continue to give more. So
give more of your time or more of your resources?
Both.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, you know, I'm a very spiritual person, and I think that, you know, it's all about love and giving. And my success, you know, I can't say I truly earned it. I've only been guided to do the best work I could possibly do. But, you know, honestly, up above, you know, gives me the strength, the power to help other people. And I'm just that guy. You know, I want to put the work in that is commanded by me.
Mr. Tai, go ahead and give them the website again and your Instagram.
Website agentsofla.com, and the Instagram 310agents, and then the handle for my business Instagram is @agentsofla.
We definitely, man, I appreciate you taking out your time to check in with us. Like I said, we'll be talking more. It's definitely a pleasure. Shout out to Eddie, you know, for putting the connection together. But definitely anything we can do, or anytime you need a line to, you know, to talk about whatever you need to talk about, you have us right here in the Tai and Hoodie show. So we appreciate you for checking in with us, Andrew.
Hey, I just wanted to say thank you. I mean, you know, Travon told me about you. We're following you online. We're seeing all the good things you're doing. And you know what's really interesting about our conversation today? You know, we talk to celebrities all the time, and you came down to earth as a person, saying, you know what, hey, I've just been guided to do this. You know, and I think that's something that really just touched me, because people are all about money and the bling and all over the place. But you truly showed us today that you care about the little people. And that's what this show is all about. Personal development, people looking up to you and saying, I want to be that guy one day. But you're saying, no, 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 you can be beyond. And I think I really, really, really appreciate that.
Well, I think, you know, we're all here for a purpose, and, you know, I'm just trying to fulfill it. So if it's me putting people in their houses and giving them that experience, you know, and it makes me feel good, it makes them feel good, you know, that's my purpose. So I appreciate you guys letting me, you know, speak a little bit. Hopefully I wasn't too boring.
No,
No,
you,
no, no. We
definitely.
enjoyed you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we enjoyed it. Hey, the Tie and Hoodie Show right here every Sunday morning, 6:30 to 7 a.m. Check us out at tieandhoodieshow.com. We'll have all Mr. Savet's information up. You want to check him out, definitely follow him on Instagram and see what he's going through. Go check out Love and Listings. Mr. Savet, appreciate you. We'll check in with you. Thanks again. Have a great rest of your day.
Thanks,
Thank you
guys.
so much.
Have a good one. See you.